Ni una más. That means not one more. The battle cry is used to protest femicide and violence against women in Latin America. Among the 25 countries in the world having the highest rates of femicide, 14 are located in Latin America. Femicide is a particular type of gendercide, and it has exploded in Latin America. Our heroes today are the brave feminists, journalists, and human rights activists fighting femicide in the region. They fight against terrible odds, and sometimes they pay with their lives. In Mexico, almost half of all women experience violence at some point in their lives. It's a problem of culture, the culture of machismo. For centuries, Mexico has tolerated and even admired male violence. A second cause for violence against women is drug trafficking, aided and abetted by corrupt police and government officials, and fueled by endless demand from the United States. Recently, trafficking has taken a grim new twist in Mexico. Traffickers are shifting from drug trafficking to sex trafficking. It turns out that trafficking women is far more profitable and less risky than drug trafficking. In the town of Tenancingo in central Mexico, sex trafficking is the primary economic activity. 10% of residents earn their living from it. The trafficking rings are run by families, just like organized crime in the U.S. Not surprisingly, the increase in trafficking is driving an increase in femicide. We Americans must understand that the U.S. has exacerbated the problem. Today, there are more than 1,000 American factories, or maquilas, strung along the Mexican side of the U.S.-Mexico border. Inside them, Fortune 500 companies pay Mexican workers roughly $3 per hour. 40% of these workers are women, including teenage women who moved there to support their families. In Ciudad Juarez, during the last 30 years, more than 1,000 of these young women have been kidnapped and murdered. Investigative journalists uncovered strong evidence that the women had been used for sex in cartel orgies celebrating successful drug runs. Mexican police and business magnates were implicated too. The women were killed because they had seen too much. Most were still teenagers. Of course, Latin American countries shoulder responsibility too. They do not prosecute crimes against women. In fact, the Latin culture that excuses male violence often shifts the blame onto the woman. Victims of rape and domestic violence are blamed and shamed. As a result, most women do not report these crimes. But change is afoot. In the last few years, Latin American women have protested like never before. They have abandoned their traditional reticence, thronging the streets in huge marches. So what's next? There are no easy answers, but the Gendercide Awareness Project is lending its wholehearted support to those pushing for change. We are sobered and humbled because some, particularly investigative journalists, have lost their lives in the process. Today, we share our plans for Mexico. Several Mexican universities and human rights organizations have invited us to take our art exhibit to Mexico for a 5-city tour. The exhibit will call attention to femicide and place it in the context of global gendercide. We will raise awareness of the terrible economic cost of violence against women, a little-known fact. A joint government-university study found that the annual cost of dealing with violence against women adds up to an astonishing 1.4% of Mexico's gross domestic product. This includes police costs, medical costs, social support, legal costs, incarceration, and missed work. The exhibit will provide a forum where scholars, activists, journalists, and government officials come together to discuss solutions. Our desire throughout is to play a supporting role, to amplify their voices and support their work.